All right. Welcome back to another hour of Scotch Hour. I'm Noah.
I'm Jesse.
And I'm still Brian.
All right, welcome back, Brian. Nice to have you back.
It's great to be back.
Nice to have our trio back together again.
It is. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so I guess we have a pretty fun episode lined up here. We have our topic tonight is going to be Interstellar.
Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey.
Right. And then we went to a restaurant, I think, called FunUGuyz. Is that what it is?
FunUGuyz.
FunUGuyz. FunUGuyz.
It depends on how you look at the
FunUGuyz.
Oh, FunUGuyz.
FunUGuyz.
Depends on whether or not you see it as the sign and emphasize the letters.
And then we have Glenfarclas 12yr, right?
Glenfarclas 12.
Are we sure that's how you say it, Glenfarclas?
Scotch Reviewed.
All right, Glenfarclas 12, just one of many, if you will, vintages or years of versions they have of their Scotch, and they have barrels. They have 60 plus years of barrels of Scotch, dating back, depending on whether or not you look at their website or another, all the way back to 1953 or 1954. They still have Scotch in barrels, the family, and Glenfarclas. Yeah, man, you're good. He's good. And man, so a lot of history here, 6 generations of ownership. The family has owned it.
For my information, they was family owned since 1836.
1836, yes.
Right.
The Grant family. So it's great. One family owning one distillery, one brand of Scotch for all that time. It's pretty unheard of. It's a Speyside Scotch, so it's not my normal favored Isla Scotch, but I'm hoping for a lot. We've had some Speysides. We've enjoyed them. We've had a lot, actually. But so 1836, they have 3 wash stills and 3 spirit stills, 6 stills on the premises, approximately 68,000 casks of Scotch. That's impressive. And, visit their website is one thing I would say. Look at some of those pictures on their website. Gorgeous scenery, a great distillery. And I'm super excited. Procured a bottle of a 40-year-old Glenfarclas not long ago, and that'll be saved for a special day.
A Glenfarclas 40-year-old?
$1,000.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And it was it's all because he liked the movie called Gentleman.
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman with...
Yep.
Matthew McConaughey. All right.
All right. We had to review that movie.
Yes, we do. Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Dazed and Confused, or
that movie, Dazed and Confused, because we've had that conversation before, and I see it as something completely different than you guys see it as. So.
Well, there I get. They say the same.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a little rocky and wavy.
Air raid, bitches.
All right, okay, let's just reel it back in. Holy cow, that's the wrong McConaughey
Brian
movie.
Comes on the show.
Interstellar
and we're like,
is this movie. However, I do find that it would have been a better movie if he had acted it more like the guy from Dazed and Confused. Like, don't worry, man. I'm just going to hook it around this black hole, and I'm just going to cruise right in.
We're going to get a little bit of data that'll save Earth.
Yeah, man.
Worth the risk. I'm going to give up. That's actually, I'm getting too far ahead of myself with this smarter challenge. I'm going to start crying in a minute. So we're going to pop open this. I would say it's a very mature looking Gentleman Scotch. It's not the sexiest bottle I've seen. It's not like an Oban Night Watch or some of the others, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, it looks okay.
It's the same label as on the tin there.
Yeah. She's not wearing a product.
I would say I like the color, the blue color of the tin
better than the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bottle reminds
as far
me-
as the label goes, like the label is just it's exactly
Consistent. Is that what you said? Consistent.
The same. No, but it is consistent. It looks the same.
I do. I mean, the artwork, it's nice. It's kind of some pencil drawing that looks pretty cool. I wonder if there's an actual photo. You said to look at the photos. Maybe there's a photo that is, based on.
But what else do you really want from the label, though? I mean, it's
Dude, it's honest. I think it's an honest label. It's something you bring to a gentleman's club when you're going to play some cards, some poker.
Yeah, but I think you say that about most scotches.
No. Some of them you're bringing to a strip club.
I have never. I mean, you guys introduced me to Scotch in the first place. I had never heard of Glenfarclas. It is kind of fun to say though, Glenfarclas.
Are you saying Farkless?
Farkless. How are you supposed to Glenfarclas?
I thought you were getting like the fart.
No, that would be Jesse.
No, it's not a Glen.
And if we're like, what is it on the nose?
It's
That's
fart.
smoke.
I think it's Jesse's butt.
That's why I always double pour.
And we're back. Back to the highbrow. I'm glad I bring that to the table.
Glenfarclas 12.
All right, on the nose.
This is not going to last the night.
Roll it.
All right, so Brian, I guess we in our tasting time there, we nominated you to start off with the tasting notes.
All right, well, let's see where we go here. I wonder if you guys will have any. Let me tell you about.
Notes from last week.
Notes from last week.
I think
All right.
Jesse printed them out.
I also printed out some information about this very Glenfarclas Scotch. All right, so the color, gold. Just a nice gold color. Not too much on the hay, side of it. A little bit deeper gold. I like kind of a honey gold. I crossed out a couple different flavors, but I settled on the nose a peach or like an apricot, kind of something like that. That initially. The flavor I got was the front, right on the front on the tongue. It's very smooth, very very smooth. I'm good for. Yeah, I'll take some more. Yeah, smooth on the front, and the mid. I kind of got this vanilla on this mid. This kind of, but then the finish was this long spiced finish. And there's almost a kind of a spice on the front. Well, no, I guess I kind of said smooth on the front on the tongue, mid vanilla, and then kind of a long spiced finish.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I would say this is one that I would definitely, it's pretty typical of this type of Scotch from the Highland or the Speyside region. Yeah. It's kind of that I would keep this. I would put this on my shelf if I wanted someone to experience, that type of. Yeah, not on your shelf. You've got some pretty incredible stuff up there, but to experience this type of Scotch, this region of Scotch.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think it has some pretty good flavors here. On the nose, what I got was some soft honey and pine. I really got the pine scent there. Or as Jesse liked to say when I was saying, "Oh, I like the smell of the pine there," and he's like, "Oh, wood? You like wood?"
Yeah.
I'm talking about a
Wood.
shaft. Getting warmed.
Mr. Miyagi taught you that?
That, dude.
Hey, by the way, season 4 of Cobra Kai is out.
Does that actually? I thought they stopped doing it.
And this is how the tasting is dragged.
My mom and Sonia and Linda, they're all supposed to do they're into Yellowstone. Have you guys watched any
I
Yellowstone?
haven't, but I heard it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. But Cobra Kai, I watched a couple of those at the beginning, the first season, and then I started fell away.
I love all of them. The 4th season's pretty good too. Any
Okay,
case,
right.
I did get the on the palate. I got it as a medium body with the upfront being slightly bit creamy, with some sherry, Oloroso sherry tones to it. Also some like deep forest, like floor type of thing. Like if you're going to like a wet, damp forest and get that kind of like that damp floral forest smell there, that earthy tone. And then my finish is I have it as being spicy with cinnamon and orange zest. and it does linger there for a bit. And I really like it. It is very reminiscent to most, to a lot of space sides that we tried. It does remind me of some, the other great space sides there. For this being a 12-year, I think it's roughly in that $60 to $70 range. If
50.
I'm not 50,
Yeah,
okay.
55.
So, is that total wine price, or is that like other places' price?
That was Bevy's Liquor Superstore in Parker.
I thought you had to get it at Total Wine because I thought it wasn't at Bevy's.
Both the same. Okay. This particular Scotch, not normally the case.
Okay. So, so I think it's for the price point, it's actually pretty decent. And I'll give it definitely a thumbs up there.
Fits in with other good 12-year.
Yeah.
All right. For me, I'm a fan. When you consider a Speyside Scotch, it is a Highland. Speyside is part of Highland. Highland is not Speyside. So remember that. And it is a Speyside Scotch. Now, definitely a comfy, warm gold color. I love that. For me, on the nose, and if you guys are smelling it, dried cherries, oak for sure. And then, man, as a kid, I didn't know what a prune was, but as an adult, man, I love that smell.
That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say like raisins, kind of like initially that was the first thing I almost wrote, and I wrote down plums, and then the more I kept going back, I kept getting more peachy, kind of apricot-y.
Yeah, and Noah mentioned creamy. Noah, you are spot on. This is a creamy, delectable, not oversweet, but sweetness to this Scotch. And I think, to your point, that probably comes from a sherry cask. The finish for me, long, smooth, the cinnamon, the orange that you mentioned also as well. I full-heartedly agree with. It's fun. Would not still be the first Scotch I would pick off a shelf, but it is fun. It's enjoyable. And I also think, it is smooth to the end. It really is. It's a great Scotch for the price. Not too hot. The alcohol you can't even taste. It's
what is the percentage on it?
It's sitting right at
43 there.
Yeah, 43. Okay. I enjoy it.
I wouldn't really necessarily say the finish is smooth because unless you like the spicy.
I love
the spice is long. It's a long.
Because sometimes, but I think it kind of depends because some people when they get spicy, they may not see that as smooth.
For me, it's smooth. It's creamy spice. It's not a dash of cinnamon thrown in my mouth with can you swallow a teaspoon of cinnamon? No, this is this long cinnamon, orange, smooth. Man, this with tiramisu again. We've talked about that before.
I don't know if I do with tiramisu.
I would absolutely do with tiramisu. Anything as far as a creamy dessert, this is a win.
See, it's got that front is very smooth for me. It's just so smooth and creamy. I would agree with that. Yeah, I get vanilla in the middle, and I actually, it really depends on, because that time I did get a smooth finish. But there's been times when I've had a little bit more of maybe a bite on my tongue with the cinnamony finish, despite.
She kissed hard.
Hey.
It's time for our shout-outs.
Shout-outs. Well, we're going to review where we went.
That's restaurant review.
That's restaurant review. So this is just kind of just in general shout-outs.
Yeah.
Boy, in general, I have. I would give a shout-out to some really nice servers and wait staff and. Just I don't know, just kind of they've been really great. It seems like there's been a lot of times, and this will be part of our restaurant review, but just the kind of people out there that are wanting to work or not, working, and the people that are working have been awesome. I really on every level, like Home Depot, like anything where I've had to deal with a person, they've been awesome, like on every level. So yeah, shout out to just customer service, and it seems like people being cool and helpful to each other.
So I'm going to do my first shout out here to my mom giving me this really cool pin here.
Dude, that is sweet.
Nice.
One of her friends made this pin here, and if you can't really see it, I'm not sure if I can really zoom in there. Maybe I could throw it in Brian's there. Maybe. I don't think you can really see it underneath Brian's head there.
No.
It's bigger on the inside.
But it says Arbeg on there, and so they did a really good job on that. The other thing I want to talk about here is as a shout out, I did mention them, I think maybe last week or 2 weeks ago for Christmas. I ordered something from a website, which is called Right to Print, and I talked to the lady Angie, and I had mentioned like how I messed up choosing the wrong type of shipping date, and she said she'd take care of it. And yeah, and it actually arrived on Thursday. I ordered this it was actually next day air because
Angie,
because I ordered it and I contacted them and it was there the next day. And unfortunately, my mom didn't get the present on time because they delivered it to the office of where she lives at, and she didn't realize it was delivered there. So
all right. So my first shout out actually goes to Noah and Brian. Noah in particular. Thank you guys for being part of this show. Noah, I give him a lot of grief, and this is absolutely the truth. I give him a hard time pretty much every episode we review what we do, and I'm like, dude, this isn't what I dreamed. And he works very hard to get good audio quality and also appease my video quality. And I really do appreciate that. Brian, thank you so much for being on this show.
Yes, thanks, Brian.
Truly enjoy when we have a third opinion, and you've always been a highlight. It's always been great. So I really appreciate that. Yeah,
third wheel.
It's the fifth wheel, right?
Did I fall down to fifth place?
No, we were talking about how we were talking.
Shoot.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, we can use curse words. This is PG 16-ish or
PG
17-ish,
24,
whatever.
PG 24.
24? Sure.
That's when a male is finally old enough to be left alone.
Really?
That's what I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe 34. I don't know. 44.
Yeah.
But shout outs to these guys. And then also another shout out to my kiddos. For me, this is great. Shout out to Casey from one of our previous episodes. She sent me some pictures. So when I left my previous store, I went to another store. I've worked with Casey in the past. And my one request when I gave my farewell goodbye was, don't tell me guys when you're struggling. Send me some pictures when you're winning. And she did exactly that. Just yesterday, New Year's basically, and it was great to see that she was proud of success, of winning, of doing a great job. Casey, awesome job. Keep on.
Congrats, Casey.
No, it was great, and I really appreciate everyone from my past letting me know when they win, when maybe I was a part of their life that helped them feel good about wanting to achieve. So cheers to all of you guys, and that is it for my show.
Thanks for the compliment, dude.
No, I meant it. I know I'm a pain. I'm a pain in Noah's ass, okay? I know it, and I know how hard he works at the same time. And that's one of the things with my friends that I talk to the podcast outside of the show is I let them know, man, I don't have and when I mean this, the equipment, the ability to do what you do, I'm not. This is why I stopped really talking what I'm gonna call shit a while back, and I still I want to do great things, and we are doing good things, and we will continue to do great things. But I don't slave over it day after day like you do. I really appreciate it. I literally really appreciate it, Noah. Thank you. Cheers, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The editing is a kind of an unsung hero.
Dude, I'm a pain in the ass. Much like Noah, I'm a perfectionist, but there's a difference when you actually can impact it and when you can't. And for me to be the thorn in his hide, when I can't really change it, I really appreciate everything you do for it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's the behind the scenes stuff that is it is a pain, and it can be a real pain. Technology can make it a pain, and
technology can make it way worse than everybody.
I know. You've been down some roads, man.
Yeah.
And you're still smiling. Way to go.
Thanks.
Way to go.
When you lose audio or you lose video
or you lose entire episodes.
Yeah. And when things get corrupted or for some reason, and it's definitely some weird challenges.
Yeah, yes. I have similar issues with the yearly
ED
Maline DVD.
Did you say ED?
I think so. DVD.
Oh, sorry. I just heard 2 of the 3 letters.
No, I have trouble with the yearly
Brian
DVD.
has a problem with his ED.
That's next. You'll move on to the ED discussion apparently because that was not on script. So I think Jesse's. So I can empathize with the DVD. Now the ED, Jesse, we'll turn that over to you.
So here it is. You tell her, take a little bit of scotch, put it in your hands. That is no one told us earlier.
That is a new trick that I find really
the
cool.
nose on this. Scotch is phenomenal.
I tell you, it smells like pine when I do that.
And that's what
Like
she
fresh
said.
pine.
Okay.
And again, what she said. Everyone likes a little fresh wood. No one wants it old. There's too much.
Are you talking about the morning wood?
That's too much bark on that wood. Shave it.
You trim that forest down there.
Yeah, man. Don't put all that bark in the fire.
You guys asked me why do you watch Scotch Hour? That's it. That's it. The innuendo. Innuendo.
Yeah.
It's good to be back, gentlemen. Good to be back.
Her endo. We went to, in Parker, Colorado, FunUGuyz, or as it may be read, FunUGuyz.
I like
called
FunUGuyz.
FunUGuyz?
I think we need
I
to.
think it's actually FunUGuyz, but it's one word, so I like to call it FunUGuyz, which is absolutely wrong, but I still call it that.
FunUGuyz nailed it.
Even though, if you really read it, it's FunUGuyz. For me, man, I thought it was fun. Was it
FunUGuyz.
a good date place? Yeah. I'd take a date there if it was.
First date?
Oh, hell yeah. Like, if she's going to stick around for a second date, then she's worth putting through that. But for me, the chips and salsa, so we started with some chips and salsa. Their chips were pretty basic, but the salsa and the garlic in the salsa really livened it up, and I loved that. Then I also progressed to a spicy barbecue burger. Delicious. Battered and fried jalapenos put atop the burger. I ordered mine medium. Delicious. And then I kind of finished up my meal. Nice beer selection. I finished up my meal with one of their cheddar pretzels. So the pretzels with some queso, spicy queso. The queso was definitely spicy. The pretzel was good. Not the best I've had, but it was very enjoyable. So for me, the service, the young man who helped us, was all over it. He was covering, when I was looking, I think he was covering 8 tables that I could see, let alone whatnot. Staffing still continues to be a problem within many areas, this one being one of them. He did a great job. Didn't perfect everything, as Noah may speak to about his meal, but my tots were delicious. My burger was great. The pretzel was fantastic. The chips and salsa were good. So for me, service, he was an 8. For me, the food, and this is only because we're comparing it to high-end places as well. We've had some great Thai, some great Indian, all sorts of amazing cuisine. The food was a 7. The atmosphere. So here's where it gets strange for me, because the atmosphere was only a 7, even though it was fun. We went in the evening, and again, good beer. They were getting ready to start karaoke night when we were leaving, which again, fun. But still only a 7 for me. It was loud, which I don't mind, but that is not everyone's cup of tea. Overall review for me, it is a 7. It was fun though. It's a place you can go. It's a place I could go and feel safe, that I would get a good beer and a quick snack.
I would agree the salsa was good, only if you like garlic, and I like garlic. So the chips and salsas were good. I wish they would have had a little bit more chips to go with the salsa.
Agreed.
But I do like the how garlicky it was. So if you like garlic, definitely recommend their chips and salsa. I did ask between 2 different meals because I had never been there before, so I didn't know which one to order. So there was the one that was kind of like a Mexican burger type of thing, where you have like I guess there's like a tortilla with a burger in there and refried beans smothered in green chili, which actually sounded pretty good. So I asked the waiter between that one or the chicken bacon lettuce wrap with ranch, and he suggested that one, so I went with it. and it was actually really good. The one thing I would mention, as Jesse had pointed out, I did order sweet potato fries with my meal. Never came. So the sweet potato fries never came.
But you did get tater tots.
I did get tater tots, which was not what I ordered. And I mean, I guess I would have been like happy if there were sweet potato tater tots.
Dude, that would have kicked butt.
That would have kicked butt. But they weren't sweet potato tater tots. They're just regular potato tots. And so, but I didn't want to make a big fuss over it. And he did offer to exchange it out. And he said that he had put in an order for more, but it still never came, never showed up, which is fine. And I didn't really ask for him to do that. But what I will say, though, in order to make it right, which I didn't even ask him to make it right, he did give me a discount on my meal. So, which was really cool of him. As far as it being a date place, I say it's more of a place where I would go hang out with friends like you guys or just buddies and watch a game there or like an Avalanche game or something like that. But as far as like a date, maybe it depends. Like if she's into like sports or just like neighborhood pubs types of things, then yeah, maybe I'd go there because it'd make for a nice relaxed evening. But as like a first date to make it like a impression, like a really super good impression, maybe not. Maybe you might go to one of the other places that we've been to before.
What kind of impression are you trying to make?
Yeah. So I think it depends on what kind of impression you're trying to make. If it's if she's kind of like more down to earth type of person who likes sports and like, you know, neighborhood bars, I think it's a good place. I think if
she likes the wood.
if you're dealing with someone who's more on the higher end scale, I probably would go to like a nicer restaurant to sit down and have for the first date type of thing. So
FunUGuyz or FunUGuyz, you would not be like for your classy first date.
No, not
to
classy
impress a chick.
Dude, that's totally where I'm finishing the night with a classy chick because I'm like, guess what? I'm gonna outclass you amongst all these people. We're gonna get a beer, listen to some karaoke, and have a good appetizer in a weird environment.
All right, so for me, it's more. I probably would not take a date there, but I would maybe go there like with a group of like kind of college guys, you know, when I was that age, to try and pick up girls. Right, like there's pool tables and big art going on. I could watch sports. I could listen to music. If I had enough to drink, I could cruise up there and do some karaoke. Dartboards. Did we see dartboards in there?
I didn't see dartboards there, but I do agree with you the whole college thing because it kind of reminds me of the old Lazy Dog in Boulder.
Yeah, just kind of that. Yeah, it's more. It's, you know, it's a little bit not to age ourselves or anything. You know,
we're 20 years old every time.
Yeah, so still it kind of it had that vibe.
21.
Yeah, I would certainly go just like hang with my buds with a couple. You know, like we did. Yeah. That was perfect. Food was spot on for me, man.
Yeah.
You get those buffalo chicken sliders.
Were those good?
So good. And
it
was a perfect. And it was like, I mean, it's a heck of a deal. Like super affordable. It was like $7, $6.95. And I asked him, about the fries and the tots and the sweet potato fries, and I really like the pub chips, and they're not on the menu. So I was like, man, and he goes, look, dude, they're not on the menu. This is our wait person. I thought he was awesome. I mean,
I think he was
young dude. I mean, I don't even know, maybe early 20s, maybe.
He looked like he was
early 20s.
21.
Yeah, he was just a kid, and he was just like on it, and he was like cool, and he offered up, try this, try that. No, he was the man. And the food was good, and their pub chips are freaking good. So they're not on the menu, I guess, for a reason, because they're so dang good. And with the service, and I don't know if we've kind of spoken to this. We did a little bit with our shout outs. He deserved a shout out because I thought, with all this time right now with COVID and people are just kind of not able to work for whatever reason, or not wanting to work. Who knows? This dude was there, like, just kicking butt. And like you guys said, he was behind me. I couldn't see what was going on, but he was just, he was just doing his job. He's just checking in. And I really enjoyed the experience all in all. The karaoke drove me right out of there, though. That's where I would need to have a lot more to drink and certainly move away from the karaoke thing, because it was just the one dude. and I think he might be the guy who was like running karaoke.
Ginger to stage one. Ginger to stage
Yeah. And it's right in the corner. It was.
Our table is right there. Right.
I'm not. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I'm just not a karaoke dude. But I know some people that are into karaoke. But the dude that was doing karaoke should not have been into it because he was
that's
really
not what
bad.
it's about. We just weren't drunk. Here's the problem: is that we took the best seat, and what you missed was the pair of twins behind you.
Yeah, you guys. I remember there were a couple times where I was telling a story and I just flat out stopped and I was like, "Hello, you guys are looking right past me."
You were talking?
Yeah, exactly. That's
you were
But then I did call you on it.
You didn't see the two midgets fighting.
I did not, but I called you on it, and you guys actually
to get out of there.
You guys legitimately like knew what I was saying. So kudos to you guys. That's a shout out.
We were listening
with all that distraction.
The twin midgets.
Yeah, I mean that's like you guys. That's some major punches in your man card because you were able to listen while with all that visual distraction behind me.
Hey, that chick's hair was like $300.
Apparently,
$400.
So we talk about class. Maybe.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
How many colors did you say she had?
Colors.
4 different colors. So I think for my sons, I'll be like, you know what?
Color cuts
for prom, don't go to like Morton Steakhouse or Elway's or something. You know where you got to go? FunUGuyz. And I guarantee they'll have a great time for prom because I am actually going to recommend it because the food was good. And I'm going to say,
I mean, is it considered a family place?
Why can't you just go eat there?
Get them some fake IDs. You had one.
They could probably pass as me. They'll be like, all 3 of you are named.
PSA: Don't drink and drive.
Yeah. All 3 of you are named Brian.
Drive.
Yes, my dad was weird.
Brian.
My son Brian. My other son Brian. Brian Jr. Brian Jr. Jr. Brian Jr. Jr.
The third.
So are they gonna take like a limo and share it together or something?
Sure. I don't know. That's
You don't have to.
Prom's on down the line. Room. That's a way down. No, prom. Has prom already happened?
No,
homecoming
bro,
happened. Yeah, homecoming happened.
Isn't like prom near for them?
May.
But it's they're only juniors this year, right? Okay.
Yeah, you can go as a junior.
Yeah,
but
junior, senior prom. Yeah.
You can come as a junior too.
Smarter challenges.
I don't know what our smarter challenge was.
Jesse?
Assess, review, watch, enjoy Interstellar, a 2014 science fiction movie starring Matthew McConaughey.
You gotta be kidding me. I had no idea that's what it was, and yet I just watched it recently.
All right.
Once again, say that one more time, Jesse. Who's in it?
Interstellar starring Matthew McConaughey. 2014 science fiction movie directed, co-written, and produced by Christopher Nolan.
And his brother Jonathan Nolan as the co-writer.
Co-writer,
yes. And Matthew McConaughey is kind of a little-known actor. You might know him from Dazed and Confused.
I was going to say Gold Rush.
Gold Rush? Yeah, he was in that.
Nobody saw that.
Everyone saw it.
I didn't see it. I just know he's in it.
Dude, he was in all the rom.
I'm teasing. It's just that.
What about his best ever performance on HBO?
Oh, is that the True Crime or something?
True Crime.
I've never seen
that. That is what made him enjoyable to me.
I don't know, man. True Crime has some pretty weird stuff going on there, which
but he was a phenomenal actor.
No, he was a great actor in there, and there's like definitely some deep stuff going on in there. If you want to check that out, I can put a link to like my own personal podcast that I started and paused.
Yeah, and he is also a writer of Green Lights.
Yeah,
Book.
so
came out a year ago.
So here, do you want to start, or do you want me to start? You want Brian to start?
Brian, start it up, man.
I got to start again. I started with the Scotch.
No one wants to start. No one started up.
All right.
Who started with the restaurant review? Yeah, Jesse did. You're up.
Okay.
Yeah,
right,
you're up. Man.
So with Interstellar, one of the things I'll point out, something that you kind of pointed out last week with directors, right? So Christopher Nolan, he also directed Tenet, which is a phenomenal.
loved it.
right?
Most
And
people
then
didn't, but we did.
He also directed Dunkirk, Man of Steel, Inception.
You're going backwards from most recent to least. Yes.
He also did Batman Begins.
All three
He
of
also directed Insomnia.
Yep.
So like some of the movies that he directed. I forgot one I didn't put in here, which is Memento. He also,
Oh my gosh, Memento's so good.
Yeah.
we talked about that on one of our earlier
believe so.
podcasts. I brought that up.
And then
I love that movie.
Yeah, and then when you look at the two brothers, the movies that they've co-written together have been Interstellar, Dark Knight Rises, The Prestige, which is another movie I forgot
Oh,
to mention
I've
about.
seen
He
that.
directed was The Prestige.
Dude, such
Great
a good
movie.
And
Such a
Memento.
good movie.
And Memento. So you talk about like a lot of these movies, maybe not Dark Knight Rises, but you could probably even throw those in there. But Interstellar, The Prestige, Memento, Tenet, Dunkirk, Inception. A lot of these movies have some like deep meaning going on and like different ways to interpret a lot of what's going on in these movies.
Real quick, so you mentioned Memento. I love that. You also mentioned the writing, his co-writer, his 6-year younger brother, born in 76. He was born in 70. With that, his brother, now, did you catch the connection with Memento with his younger brother?
What connection were you looking
The
for?
connection is his younger brother wrote and produced Memento Mori, a short film about 20 minutes long that he ultimately rewrote with his brother to make the film, the feature film Memento.
Yeah, he also did another short with Inception. He did a short with
Now this is just directing, or is this written?
so this
is-
writing and
This is where
directing.
it gets really interesting because I think he's a phenomenal producer, but he absolutely takes and builds upon other people's beginnings.
So when looking at Inception itself, though, since this is our smarter topic, and I won't go too far off straight talking about some of the other movies, which I would love to because he has some great movies there
Phenomenal.
underneath his belt. But here the movie does start off with it being they're on planet Earth. There's a new dust bowl going on, which if you really ask me, seems like they're kind of tossing out the whole overpopulation, which then leads to over farming, which then leads to a brand new dust bowl. And if you really start taking a look at it, basically what they're saying in a message, without really directly saying, is that humans are killing the Earth and that we need to move to a new host like a virus. So we've killed the Earth as a virus, then we now need to move to a new host. And then here we can, if you really want to start looking more into the whole overpopulation, conspiracy type theory and the whole like Green New Deal and all that kind of stuff, you can start diving into some of the writings from the Council of the 300, the think tank, the Atlantic, Council on Foreign Relations, and then Club of Rome, some of those places. But with that though, it does cause basically everyone has to become a farmer because they've lost food. The whole world has no more food.
There's blight.
Yeah, there's a blight going on. And so the only thing that they're really eating right now is corn. NASA has gone underground. And I think one of the really big themes in this movie has to do with parent-child relationship. There is the professor and his daughter, and then there is Matthew McConaughey's character Cooper, and his daughter Merv.
Coop?
And I think depending on
Did you just say sup, Coop?
What's up, Coop?
yeah, what's up?
I was like, wow, where did I hear that?
I think you and I, Jesse, we had talked about this, how Matthew McConaughey's character, he would do anything to basically save the world for his daughter, right? He's thinking beyond himself and to save the world to help basically protect his daughter.
McConaughey?
Yeah.
He's trying to save his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I think if you look at the same father-daughter relationship, I don't really think the professor was doing the same thing with his daughter. So I don't think necessarily the whole parental thing holds true 100% of the time, that a parent will be totally unselfish to do stuff to protect their child.
Hold on a second.
I disagree.
Hold on a second. I mean, if we're allowed to interject a little bit. Now, I think that the professor, Michael Caine.
You got it.
I think that he actually ultimately did protect his daughter because he sent her knowing that the earth was doomed and that in fact, I mean, I kind of spoiler alert, right? Obviously.
Give her any chance.
Yeah, he gave her a chance to go out there but I mean, no matter what, but that crew that was sent out there was going to survive because they were going to, no matter what, they were going to one of these places. Just the best chance.
Here's where I disagree with you.
Okay. Okay.
Because he lied about the formula in Plan A.
Or Scotch.
And when he did lie about that, if he really did care and wanted to save the world,
he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't save the world. It was already predestined that the earth would end.
But here's the thing is that he would not have lied to Matthew McConaughey to where he would sacrifice Matthew McConaughey's daughter.
But Matthew McConaughey later explains that, and I think this is what you were going to talk about when he's like, every father needs to make their children feel safe, even if it's a lie.
Oh, there's one of the best quotes ever I heard in this movie. I got to come back to it.
I'm not saying that's incorrect of him to say that, but I think what he did to Matthew McConaughey was wrong.
No, we agree with that, but what he did for his daughter was in the same vein.
I think here's what you're kind of partially missing is the conversation that Jesse and I had when we had to watch the movie. He's like, a parent will do whatever to save. He saved the world because of his daughter, and I don't think the professor in this case was going to save the world
because of his daughter. He was saving his daughter.
He was saving his daughter,
correct?
Not the world.
Okay, yeah.
Where Matthew McConaughey was saving the world for his daughter.
Well, not really the world, but humanity.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
think there shows a lot of like one was being more selfish than the other, and I don't think unselfishness comes just strictly from being a parent and a child relationship. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't exist there.
They both were saving their daughters, though. So we all agree they were saving their daughters.
One was just more selfish than the other when it comes to the human race.
Or, I mean, was it at that time? Because the only way to save his daughter was to save the human race.
For Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Whereas the other guy,
but the other guy held. But here's the thing: is the other guy he held up the lie all the way up until his deathbed, and he knew the whole time that he was lying, not only to Matthew McConaughey, and he knew that he lied to Matthew McConaughey, and he lied to his daughter the whole time, who was his.
Otherwise she would not have gone, probably.
Here's the struggle.
Yeah.
Here's the real world struggle. You're not wrong, but you're not right. And here's the bottom line. He didn't actually lie. He actually was trying to save the little piece of Earth that was left. And that is where he needed data he did not think would ever be attained. With that comes in Michael Caine's character, as you're saying lying, but I'm going to say mistruthing because he didn't know it was actually really possible.
What is a mistruth if it's not a lie?
So ultimately what he needed from Matthew McConaughey's character, Coop, was to get gravity data from the black hole, which Coop actually got, and then created the possibility for Coop's daughter to implant the use of gravity, more importantly, anti-gravity, by the way, to seclude a group of humans on a vessel to launch off of Earth anti-gravity wise and live in the solar system in a transformable, if you will, but absolutely movable satellite.
Okay, so before we get too far down this road, I want to just throw in a couple other things real quick here on themes before you guys run off with it. The other one is the will to survive.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's another big theme that was put in here. I think they talked about organisms or whatever. They'll do whatever it takes to survive, and they'll fight to survive. I think, which is really shown by Matthew Damon's character, Dr. Mann.
Dude, that guy was... Matthew Damon played his best villain ever in this movie. I wanted that guy to die and burn in hell.
I think if you want to take another rabbit hole, deep dive type of thing, you can look at Matthew McConaughey, his political stances, and how it relates to this movie too. But then the other main topic here is love, and how love can transcend, I guess, this is what they're saying in the movie. I'm not saying that this holds true, but they're saying how love kind of transcends the time space continuum time frame or whatever.
Definitely has a positive impact.
Yeah,
or a negative one.
So, and I think when you look at it, there's basically three main focuses that they use with love: Coop and Murph, the professor and his daughter, and his. I think it was her name. Their name's Burns or something like that. Mm-hmm. Burn or something. Her and her lover.
Anne Hathaway, yeah.
Anne Hathaway and her lover, which is Edmonds.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was Man. I had to go rewatch it, but it wasn't Man. It was Edmonds, and we don't actually ever see Edmonds in the movie.
That's because he's dead on another planet.
Exactly.
Was actually survivable, ironically.
Yeah. Which is why the whole will to survive. This is where Matthew McConaughey's evil person comes into play. But anyways, I'll leave it at that. Let you guys can.
Brian, bro, you're up. Let's keep this going. This is exciting. Good job. No, I mean that. The love is actually imperative.
So, what's interesting is I often think about, when you're doing something, what is your intent? What is your intent? And was your intent good? And so it made me think with what I'll take a little bit more of that too. Is Noah had mentioned, because really this Michael Caine has really been painted, I think, in this movie at one point of being just the bad guy, right? Right. He made some kind of decisions that are kind of negative.
I never thought he was a bad guy. I just thought he was misdirected.
So here's the deal: is his intent all along was to save his daughter, right, and was to save Matthew McConaughey's daughter, and the entire human race. Now, he did find out, and he did say that I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to. So just like we all wouldn't you say the same thing? Like, look, I have faith.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Is he's like, I'm going to get this done. In 28 years, yes, trust me. There's enough brain power. There's enough people. We will get this done. Okay, and then as time approached, and he kind of was that it couldn't be done, but. Initially, right from the beginning, though.
Here's the point. He knew about the answer a long, long time ago. He knew what he needed, and he lied all up until that point.
He needed data about gravity he didn't have yet from the black hole.
Yeah, but he could have, if he was really truly being honest and wanting to do option A, like he told Matthew McConaughey, he would have been truthful the whole freaking time.
Oh no! There's no doubt. There's no doubt that he made.
That's why he's a scumbag in this for that particular reason.
Wait a minute, 1 second. I wanted to make a 1 second. Okay. Like a 30-second pause. Dude, this scotch is so drinkable.
It is drinkable.
Dude, it doesn't make me want to stop. Okay, back to it.
So
come back. Go, Brian.
The thing is, though, his vision was correct. His vision was correct. In the end, literally, if not for him, none of this would have come about. So sometimes good things come from bad people. I'm not saying, I'm never trying to say, and I think that's where, because we kind of talked about, Michael Caine and what he did for his daughter, and then Matthew McConaughey and what he did for his daughter
too.
And I think here the thing is I agree with you, and I think the point you've kind of guided this towards is he's a scumbag.
I think so, because he knew the issue. He knew what the problem was.
But is that what we're debating? Are we debating if the guy's a scumbag or not? Because the initial question was not if he's a scumbag. Your initial question was he trying to save his daughter? You asked that question. You said, he trying to save his daughter, and was Matthew McConaughey trying to save his daughter?
I don't think I actually said that they were trying to save their daughter.
I think you asked something about their daughter. Were they trying to save their daughter?
I said there was
the parenting connection, trying to save their daughters. Yeah, they're saving their kids.
I'm saying there's two different approaches. Where one, I think Coop was saving the world for his daughter, and I don't think the professor was doing that because he held the information back that he didn't even share with his daughter, and she didn't realize until they were all screwed.
Yes, so correct. So I would go back to and say 100%. I agree with you that he was a scumbag. So so if that was the initial debate, I missed it. So yes, the initial debate is he's a scumbag for that. However, had he not, made the decisions he made, things would not have worked out the way they did. So sometimes, hard decisions are made, and that we kind of need to come back to that, because Matthew McConaughey had to make a hard decision, and what's her name? Anne Hathaway had to make a hard decision, and they went to the best of us all, Dr. Mann.
Yeah, that guy's a dick.
Well, and there
He's
you
like
go.
He's worse than the professor.
Okay, so here's a bit, and so I do want to get into Professor Mann.
How do you want to get
I want to talk about that because, well, first of all, did they decide that Matt Damon is the king of playing isolated on planets?
Richard,
I'll give him props for the Martian.
He did
Richard,
good. The Martian, and when he was good in this too. I mean, really, because here's the thing, I watched this and it made me think about bravery, right? Because they talk about this. Oh, he's so brave. He did this for his kids. And when you talk about kind of bravery, a lot of times bravery seems to be an element, a time, a moment of bravery, where a lot of people can have bravery through adrenaline for a moment. Matthew McConaughey steered the jet, steered the shuttle. That's a moment of bravery. Okay. But imagine yourself isolated on a planet, knowing, just go lock yourself in a room with nothing but white walls, because that's all that was there in that place, and kind of stare at it with no one to talk to and nothing to do.
Yellow carpet very quickly,
and just knowing,
robot to talk to, but
that would be
he destroyed the robot.
That is the ultimate test of courage, is being able to do the right thing, and he clearly could not.
Yes.
Right. He clearly.
I think we're all in agreement. He could not.
He failed.
But
it was a limpy.
But okay, so put yourself in his shoes, thinking okay, listen, here's the deal: is I know that mine isn't, but he was he not getting data from was he not able to get some of the data from the other people as well?
Sending it from Earth still. No, he wasn't getting.
No. Was he able?
I don't think the other
planets could communicate with one another at all,
because they were all dead already. No, literally, it's literally because there was no data to transcend.
Yeah. So that was kind of that for me. I was just I imagined myself sitting there thinking okay, the thing is, if I can get them to me, I know, but he knew the other worlds were close enough to explore, because he knew he would be able to get to those other worlds. He knew he was close enough. That was his thing. So he was so again, here's the deal.
He didn't have a vehicle to get there yet.
But he's sitting there thinking, okay.
Which reminds me, how did he fly and then they fly?
They all got a trip, but the way that it was transcended, if you will, reverse, the ship that they all got there on was wrecked on the tsunami planet, if you will, after the others had already been dropped off. It's actually ridiculous, but it's real.
And she screwed that up.
What did they really need when she was running out in the water planet?
She wanted the data.
But what did she need the data there? There was not. Because that was the big thing that Michael Caine needed, the data. But that data there was obviously of a planet that was not inhabitable. So get the heck off.
What they needed was data on gravity, and they ultimately got it for one reason only.
Yeah, but he even knew that he needed the data from a black hole. And here's also the messed up part, though.
Why is that gotta be?
Is Dr. Mann knew that it was only Plan B and not Plan A, and he knew that the professor lied.
Now think about that.
How did Dr. Mann know that?
He's saying that because he assumed it, but ultimately what we find out from Coop's daughter is that she succeeded, and it wasn't just Plan B. There was a Plan A that actually succeeded, but nobody had enough faith. And I'm not trying to steal your thunder, so I'm going to let you finish.
Oh, no, I think that was just...
I think... Well, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because, ultimately, the dude, the Michael Caine, he had a vision. He was like, this is what has to happen. We can do this. And he, thought there was a way to do it, and then found out he couldn't, and then had to do a whole charade to say, we can get it a different way, but I can't be...
So I think when you talk about the whole charade thing, I think sometimes, and this is probably where he wasn't a bad guy, as much as I say that he was, sometimes you do have to throw smoke and mirrors up to project hope and faith, so that way people will go along with the plan and think that there is hope, because once all hope is lost, then civilization is lost.
Well, they alluded to that. They mentioned if we said, and I think he mentioned that, if I said that, we're sending people away to find another place, what would that do to the rest of the earth and the funding for NASA? The political amount would be so he had to So I mean, so now that you're starting to think about it, like
I still think he's a bad guy.
Dude, it's a good
think about the
movie.
enormous.
He was not a bad guy. He was just
He
an
was,
ass.
but think about
DICK.
the okay. Put yourself in his shoes.
Well, I understand. Like,
Put yourself in his shoes.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna
I'll
do?
probably do the same exact thing.
There you go.
Even though I still think.
And are you a terrible? Are you a terrible person?
I am because I
No,
just
you
read-
had to
No.
make a terrible decision.
Yeah, make a terrible decision.
I agree with
Make
you,
a
Brian.
terrible
So
decision.
here's where I want to step
But I
in.
think him lying about it over all those
You
years
have
with his
to
staff.
do it.
I don't
Okay,
think
then
he
how?
had to do it
Okay,
with
how are
his
you going to
staff.
change it?
You have to.
How are you going to? Okay, so what if he?
No one
If he
works-
doesn't lie and he tells it.
Okay,
For a
we should
false
let-
future.
Let's let Jesse throw in his 2 cents because we are definitely.
All right, do it, Jesse.
Dude, no one works towards a false future. This is not just about me throwing in my 2 cents. This is about you guys are both right. And I love the fact that this topic has brought this up. So, one of the things that needs to be considered about Christopher Nolan, especially when he's writing with his brother, is the fact that he used epistemological, and metaphysical themes in his movies. And you can see this in The Dark Knight Rises, Batman, Inception, any of these great movies that he's done. But epistemology is really the study, nature, and origin, scope of knowledge and justification, the rationality of belief. So when I think about this movie, here's where it really becomes big to me. And I love that you guys both joined in on this, had never seen it before, both watched it and got so, I'm going to say emotional and emphatic about it, is because that's how I was impacted. The first time I watched this movie a couple years ago, I was emotionally impacted, I would say, for probably 10 days before I really got over it. Part of that is because having a child, or especially in this case, having a daughter, as you get with Kane or McConaughey and their daughters, they're trying to save the human's future, really their daughter's future, Michael Caine, Matthew McConaughey, is just that. It's like, oh my goodness, I want to save my child. I need to do this. So now here comes some different things with morality and rationality and what's right and wrong. What is your code? They both tell, I'm going to say, white lies to their youngins, their children, because they want to believe. So they actually do have the faith. They actually do have the faith, like I do in the Scotch, that this is great. They have the faith that there is a chance. But no one else would. If you actually shared that with everyone else, humanity would fold. Brian, your point exactly that is that if you don't give a few white lies, oh yeah, we're going to stay here on Earth, when you already know that's not a choice. But there are 2 other choices. We're gonna find this magical mathematical equation that'll help us eject this vessel from Earth to save a portion of you, 1 in a million are going to escape Earth, versus there's another choice, which is also true. I don't think he was lying. I think he was being completely honest. The only other option, if we don't find this mathematical equation to gravity, is to send you to another universe via a wormhole that's out by Saturn at this point. And that's where Matthew McConaughey has to make the terrible. It is a tragic. It's terrible. He hates it. He does not want to do this, but he has to lie to his daughter and say, I'm going to save you. And the lie isn't that he doesn't save her. It's that he actually doesn't have 100% faith, but he has 99% faith that he can save her. And the 1% is non-negotiable. Like any chance to save his daughter, it could have been the opposite way. 1% to save her, which is really what it was, and take the risk and risk his own life to save her. To her, and humanity was worth dying right then and there, and then in the future ejects himself into space with a crew, and ultimately in the long haul he does both. He saves and collectively groups enough data to solve situation A, and eject, if you will, or use anti-gravity science to create a vessel that removes itself from Earth to save humanity. But he also finds another planet to do it, and in the meantime learns a lot about himself, learns about women, life, children, gets to see his daughter. So here's where another piece is, and this is, we're going to run way out of time. This is much like many of our episodes. It is too vast, but space and time, wormholes, time on other planets, 1 hour here or there is 10 years here. He comes back to Earth, and this is a spoiler, sees his daughter as an old lady where he hasn't aged but a year, and it was still worth it. And at the end of the day, if you watch the movie, this is all a spoiler alert from here on, by the way. If you're watching the movie, if you're watching the movie, he leaves Earth and leaves his daughter very upset at him, with this symbol that says stay in gravitational pulls, the fifth dimension. And his daughter's telling him to stay. He was telling his daughter to tell him to stay with that. But at the end of the day, what you find out is that's because he, at that point in the future, hadn't realized that he solved both equations, not one, but both equations. And at the end of the movie, his daughter's like, go, don't stay. Go find this young lady. Well, hopefully still a young lady.
Go find the lady that you went off to another world with, and better.
Yeah, but
I didn't notice that happened.
Nonetheless,
That's
That's on part 2, Interstellar 2.
You guys are
Repopulation.
Don't minimize. They already had that. Anne Hathaway was already doing that. She already had all the embryos. But don't minimize the fact that his faith, Matthew McConaughey's faith alone, saved humanity. And so with Christopher Nolan, one of the things, again, he's known about is epistemological and metaphysical beliefs and how he applies those to movies. How do you really look at faith and religion and any of these things and believe in them, and to a point where you can move forward? And he does it here.
So my main issue here with Michael Caine's character is I think he could have been honest with...
You can't.
Yeah, I think he could have been honest with Matthew McConaughey's character.
He didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
He did not. Brian, did he know that? You can't take a risk. Matthew McConaughey was the one person who could possibly solve it. You can't take the risk if you could be honest with the one person that's
like Matthew McConaughey told him. They were going to do this trip regardless, with him or without him.
Right. Matthew McConaughey was their only chance. He was the answer. And Michael Caine's character
obviously he did become the answer, but
which I don't know why he was so impressive with his ability. What made him so special as a pilot?
Yeah,
Matthew McConaughey?
He just talked to the DM computer. Hey, we're gonna do this now. Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, just I don't know why.
Make that calculation again. Yeah, it's still the same. Okay.
You guys actually are disappointing me in the moment to understand that he was an engineer. He had a doctorate.
No, he was. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Engineering, and that was his problem with his kids only being farmers in their future.
No, I hear that, but what? I mean, but when they said specifically, they talked about his piloting skills that made him so special.
Right, he was an Air Force, basically NASA, but Air Force pilot before he was decommissioned because of his accident.
I got some serious stuff we got to talk about. I got some serious stuff,
dude.
man. This is some deep stuff. Okay,
about to go NC-17.
I got it. Whatever. No, not NC-17. It can just go on for hours because the movie was long. The movie was long, so there's a lot to analyze.
What she said.
Oh, dang it! I was just gonna write it down, and now you guys screwed me up.
That's what she said.
No, shoot! I almost got to rewind. Some of the things. Okay, here's some stuff. Number one, this was interesting. I found towards they were them. They are us. And I have always that's for me. I have so much faith in the human brain, what we're capable of, what we have yet to tap. I mean, so I believe that. Yeah, that was really cool. So that was one awesome quote. That was cool. Another awesome quote. Was this one, and you might dig this because of
I already do
the parenting vibe. Once you're a parent, you're the ghost of your children's future.
No, I actually fully agree. And this
That
isn't
quote,
a dig. This
that
isn't
quote
a dig,
was
Noah.
like, no, but I mean,
It's
like,
true.
no, just like as you dissect it, like,
You can't say it's really it's a dig, even though I may not have a child. I have a parent, so I
He
can
doesn't
understand.
know of his
Yeah, yeah.
children.
But
He's been
once you're a
inseminating
parent-
women for years.
you're the ghost of your children's future.
Yeah, and since I have a parent, I can understand it from the other side.
You can't until
So
you're
as a
a
parent,
parent.
I'm now the
telling
ghost.
You can't until you're a parent.
It was crazy. And then the last one, explorers versus caretakers. And that is that's a personality trait, right? And I can be an explorer. That was the whole concept, a lot of,
Selfish
Matthew
versus
McConaughey.
selfless is the simplification of that. Selfish versus
Sure.
selfless.
That's more on the symbolic realm, but like just when you're talking about just, the actual, in the movie, they did talk about there being, Matthew McConaughey was very big into the explorer. We must explore. And other people were talking about we need to stay, and caretake. And I found myself, I'm like, who am I? Everybody wants to be like, I'm the explorer, I'm the hero. But when we talk about,
Most of us are caretakers.
I talk about, my investment was my home. That I caretake. That's what I'm
You're a
here to do.
teacher. You're a caretaker.
It's kind of interesting. And I had something so deep that I wanted to write down, and I cut it off in between, and it was good. But it was a good movie. It was really,
Yeah, it was a
Dude,
good
it's a great movie. It wrecked me for days is the best way to put it. I was literally like, oh my God, if I had to make this choice, and this may answer and reinvigorate your memory, if I had to make the choice, would I lie to my children and risk my life to save all of humanity and her or him, the child, or would I stay and enjoy what little time I had left?
How about
Now,
this? How about this
as
as a
an
moral question?
explorer, you're gonna go.
How about this as a moral question? You being okay, wanting to save your daughter, sending your daughter out to space, but then telling another guy, "Hey, I need you to go out to space and kill your daughter."
here's the thing.
Could you do that?
Who sent somebody out to space to kill their daughter?
Okay, so the professor sent his daughter out into space to save her,
All right.
but at the same time, he knew that he was killing Murph.
He knew that
Is
Murph
it-
wasn't going to make it.
Yeah,
The professor.
the professor.
Right, but that's not the same, dude. That's not literally the same.
it isn't moralistic.
Still saved humanity.
not-
Literally,
here,
it answers
but
the
wait.
question about.
No, we know what
is-
happens in the movie, but did that professor know that he would definitely save humanity?
That's why you have to understand what the.
Well, he would save
directors-
humanity, the future of
Yes,
humanity,
is
but
the
not
answer.
the past of humanity. They were done. He's like,
That's-
this.
He
Yes.
already, like, as far as he knew, Murph was going to die, the professor.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan wrote this knowing exactly that. That's the point.
I'm asking you on a moral sense.
You're talking
Could you-
about a
could you-
person
I'm
in the
asking-
film, not the
Yeah, I'm
film's
asking-
purpose.
I'm asking you as a person, knowing that you have a child, if you had the opportunity to send your daughter out to space to save her, but then ask some other guy to kill their child so that way they could go help ensure
Who
their
was
survival.
killing their child to ensure survival?
Okay, so if we're going to put this into perspective now, if we're taking it real, so this would be Jesse sending one of his kids to space knowing that, she's going to go save
Here's the
humanity.
point.
And
He
hold
was
on.
right.
And then,
Faith.
you looking at me and saying, Brian, listen, I know your skills. You're a math guy. You know binary coding. You can do this. You can fly a plane, dude. You can go and you can save your kids. You can save
But you
your
don't tell them
sons.
the full story.
So
knowing
you're
that-
telling me, Brian, you can save your son. That's kind of what you're getting at, right? So
Yeah.
he's wondering if you could do that to me. Could you do that to me? Could you lie to me?
Here's the point.
That's the question you're
giving
asking,
a
right?
Yeah, it's a moral question.
You're giving the proposition that he sent his daughter off to die, but she lives.
I know. I didn't say
No.
he sent his daughter. The professor sent his daughter off
To live.
Right.
but he's sending
Sent
Matthew
Murph-
McConaughey off into space with his daughter,
With the
knowing-
false hope that
with the
she
false
believed.
hope, saying that because Murph is going to die.
That's where you're wrong. It's not a false hope. He has enough faith that there is 0.0000 infinity
But
one.
here's-
And yet on his
chance that it works.
deathbed, he says,
"I lied to you."
I didn't think I could do it. I knew
Right.
I
That's
knew
the
that we
thing
were
is,
screwed.
But here's where you have to understand
But
Christopher Nolan.
He knew though. He knew. Like I don't care about Christopher Nolan.
Are you asking or are you answering?
No, I'm asking you a moral question.
I was trying to answer.
No, you weren't. You kept on talking about Christopher Nolan. I'm asking you. Can you send another person out in space to have them kill their child, knowing that their child might not live?
Yes.
Okay.
Because why? In the movie, it worked.
So what if it doesn't help? What if it doesn't work?
If you were the opposite, you failed time and time and time again.
I'm just saying.
Being yes, 1-1 victor.
No, not necessarily. He
Saved
doesn't know.
humanity on
He doesn't
two
know.
fronts.
He does
It's not
know.
about knowing. It's about faith.
Okay.
You're the religious
Here's
one.
what I will say. Here's what I think that this, for me, this and this is where this is kind of the episode of Scotch Hour is going is, and I can underline, I wrote it down as you guys were talking. This movie is full of moral questions.
It is.
I mean, we can look at it from so many angles. I mean, yeah,
Christopher Nolan, Batman Begins, Batman.
The moral questions, like who are you going to save, right?
Memento.
Yeah.
Insomnia.
Yeah. The dude, that's kind of what
does. So if you don't inspect what Christopher Nolan does, you can't understand and appreciate the movie. He is
I didn't say I didn't understand. I didn't say I didn't understand. I didn't respect what he's doing. I'm asking, could you, as a
he was just asking you a moral question.
Yeah, like could you do that?
Yes.
And if you say yes, then that's fine. I'm not saying you're right or wrong in doing it. I'm just saying that you just that professor is saying, hey, I'm going to send my daughter off, and I'm going to send you off with my daughter, knowing that there's a high probability that your daughter's going to die.
But that is that is an interesting moral question. Like, could you? And for me,
99% of the population died.
I could do it. I could do it too. I would say. I mean, I would have to.
Any chance is a chance.
Oh no, God, that would be God. To really think about it, you would have to lie to
everyone.
I would have to lie to everyone I loved.
Aaron, your kids, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to lie to everybody.
Matthew McConaughey.
I'm not saying that a person couldn't do it. I'm just saying like you have to. And I didn't really like. And honestly, I'm not even saying like you really you should answer the question on air. Even though I put you.
I already answered. Yes, I would lie to everyone.
It is a question.
If there was any chance.
It is a question that everyone should ask themselves. Could you, like, just knowingly send other people into space, knowing that you can save humanity, whether it be plan A or plan B, but most likely plan B because you don't think plan A is going to work in the first place.
Any chance. When you get to a point where there is no chance except for two possibilities, any chance is a chance. And yes, you do it. This is exactly, Brian's saying yes, I'm saying yes, you're saying no.
No, I didn't say it's no.
But you're questioning it. But Brian and I are both like, hell yeah, we'll send anyone to space because we have children. This is a truth.
I'm just saying, like,
no. I think it's all saying like the same thing is that like when it comes down to it, it was he's like this is our only option, and it's probably going to fail. It's a crappy option, but it's the only option. So what Noah has always brought up, I believe, is that Noah has always said, yeah, and that was the only option. That was just all he had to do. So that was the decision he had to make.
And if that honesty gets out, which Inception,
that's the point. If the honesty gets out, then it screws.
Anyone else brings up, the world ends.
I think he could have been honest and said
he can't.
No, you can't.
This is what you don't understand. People can't handle the truth.
Well, yeah, I do
know that.
Yes,
I do know that.
That's great. Okay, so now Noah, so now I break it. I get to be honest with my family. So I tell them. And they're going to be like, "Oh my God, I got to tell my girlfriend. My kids got to tell their girlfriends. I got to tell my mom. I got to tell."
Hour the world knows.
All right.
Yes.
Here's what I'm saying: is that he could have been at the very least.
You can't. You literally can't.
Are you gonna let me finish?
Yeah.
He knows at a certain point, his son's not talking to him. He knows Murph is not talking to him anymore. There could have been a point when he's already up in space where he says, "Hey, you know what?"
And what are they going to do? And then what?
He could have been in office. He could have
no, and then what? Then what happens?
I'm just saying he could have been honest at that point.
Okay, so he eventually was honest when he was dying, but what is supposed to happen though?
Same thing is going to happen. Maybe same thing happens.
You know what?
Okay.
Actually, I want to stay with this for a second. Please let me stay with this. So, okay, I'm following this. Hold on, I'm following this. And if we follow this, and we go through, if he had just been honest with Murph earlier.
I'm not even saying be honest with Murph.
No, but don't just listen, because eventually, who was he honest with?
Murph.
And she was like, well, then I really got to get the answer.
Exactly.
So if he had been honest with Murph, like, I don't know, 15 years earlier, they could have figured it out 15 years earlier.
Not true. They
No?
didn't have the data, and she would have hated him.
Wait, how did she get the
But here's
data?
the other thing.
Have to have faith.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, she couldn't have got the data because the only way she got the data is because Matthew
swung by the black
McConaughey was
hole.
sent away.
But when did they figure out that they needed to go find the information for the
You
black
don't-
hole? After they find out that they're all
Here's
screwed.
what you're missing, Noah, is that
Oh, yeah, because they decide that's how they're going to
when,
use
he,
the
when he's
data.
with Dr. Mann.
Yeah.
That's when he says, like, oh, we have to get the data from the black hole. Well, if he would have known that from the get-go, they could have just gone
Gone to a black hole and just been sent the data back.
Anyways, you're saying...
you have faith.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's
Yeah,
one of
faith
those.
in what, though?
But it's one of those. Yeah,
My point. You don't
it's
have
like
faith
the
if
butterfly
you
effect.
ask what
If this hadn't
you have faith
happened,
in.
you know, this
You
is kind of
literally-
this is the
you don't
scrambled
have
brain
faith
thing.
if you have to ask, what do I have faith in?
Faith in what? There's.
Do you have faith?
I have faith in
Survival.
some things.
I have
some
faith in the
things.
human brain. I do think
I have
humans are.
faith. Yes, it's inside of rings I own, and I have faith. And I think the difference between most and some is that most say they have faith and some actually have faith. And if you have faith, you have to trust that you
I
understand.
don't think you can just say, you could just make a blanket statement of, you have faith. Do you have faith? Do you have faith what? Do I have faith
Is
in this
this
scotch?
your comment about letting me continue? Let me
Oh,
finish.
sorry, go ahead.
If you have faith or not is answered in this movie, and that is Christopher Nolan's answer with his brother Jonathan Nolan, also known as Jonah Nolan. Christopher Nolan again, 1970. Jonathan Nolan, 1976. Jonathan Nolan's younger brother writes great. He writes with his brother, and the premise is: do you have faith? Can you answer this? And most people are like, "Oh yeah, I have faith." Bullshit. Bullshit. Most people do not have faith because at the end of the day, what you can't say and be honest with yourself with is, if I had the answer as to when the world was going to end and it was maybe 3 days from now, would I share that with the ones I love? No is the answer, because you don't want them to be miserable for 3 days.
If you have faith that if you have faith
That's not
that
faith.
they would not fall apart on you, that's having
Faith
faith.
is not trying to change their destiny knowing the answer.
So if someone told you the answer and you refuse to
Christ
give
died. Everyone dies. You don't tell them the answer about when death happens. You just have faith that it'll
that
be
means
okay.
then you're saying you don't have faith in them and be able
Nope,
to
you got it
explore
wrong.
their.
You got it wrong.
That's a new episode we can check out. Is because there's a movie called Countdown. I think where you can know your.
3, 2, 1. Countdown is the
right.
answer.
I was gonna say 3, 2, 1.
You know,
Countdown. We're out.
we're at like 2 hours.
Don't drink and drive. Life is great. You
Cheers.
guys, this is a great episode. Thank you guys
Cheers.
so much.
Okay.
next
Noah,
week's-
yours-
next
Noah,
week's,
what's your?
Wait, yeah, Noah.
Next week's Smarter challenge is going to be urban myths, mainly Black Eyed Kids. What was the one that you picked?
Paul Bunyan.
No,
Oh my god,
urban. It's like urban legends.
dude! I don't
You
know.
chose one. You chose one. Like when we were talking the other day.
I literally was just like Jason.
No, it wasn't Jason.
I literally struggle because
All right.
like are these urban.
So,
myths? I don't
anyways,
know.
it will be at least Black Eyed Kids. We'll talk about, and then
What does Black Eyed Kids mean?
BEK. You can just look it
That's
up.
what I asked.
And then another one will
sounds
be
like
will be the Skinwalker Ranch at least.
Yes, Skinwalker Ranch and Black Eyed Kids.
All right. And once again, we're on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, all the other
mics are
ones.
so
All right.
bright.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
dude.
You guys,
Cheers. Life is
Cheers,
great.
everybody. Again, another cheers.
We hope you enjoyed this evening's episode of Scotch Hour. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have not done so already, please become a Patron member, with memberships starting as low as $1 a month. Thank you, and hopefully you have a wonderful evening.